As far as the right-of-way crew, we go back as far as what Hector was saying, that we do the coordinates. So we're down, we take about a month and a half on each coordinates to get the alleys done, the city right-of-ways, clean all the four corners and the main town and all that. So we're trying to keep as busy as we can. I'm here for any questions if you gonna ask.
Remember, Randy, you also knew, your department is responsible for cleaning all the buildings and janitorial
Yes, sir.
stuff, so you guys are really busy with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, we're trying to get ready for this freeze that we're coming up this next week. So we're gonna start winterizing all the facilities down. So hopefully we can get that in time.
Great, thank you. Council, do you have any questions?
The only thing, council, just a reminder that we have our second master plan meeting, town hall, coming up on the 25th at 6 o'clock. This is where we would want the public to join the council, and we want your ideas, we want your feedback, we want your information as far as where we can move forward, developing that sports complex and ideas that are coming in.
Mayor, Council, Bianca also, before you leave, will give you copies of that flyer, that handout. We've already posted on Facebook. I believe it's in the paper.
Yes, for the next 2 weeks.
This connect, review the paper. So on that end, again, to your point, Councilman, we are pushing to get the word out as best we can. And the other pieces, Graham kind of glossed over, but Moreno Park should see improvements. I think the council, the grant was over $200-something thousand. So we should start seeing equipment roll in, if not this month, then next month.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. And then at some point, we're hoping in March to have a little ribbon cutting for the new Public Works building. We still have a little bit of work to do out there. So that'll be another thing that we've been working on, but it's just slow progress. And then also in March, the other thing is we had kept the community center, the community room. It had been closed off. We anticipate opening that back up in March. February, March. I don't want to go and put too much pressure on the staff, but we hope to have that open up in March and open to the public. And so we're doing some work out there in that facility. But anyway, it's a lot of work coming.
And last April 15th, mark that down. It's not income tax, but April 15th, we should know something on the grant for the sports complex. So they should be notified on something. I just got that maybe about 5 minutes ago from
It's
the
April 15th,
grant.
right?
April 15th.
Okay.
And that's the 1.4?
Yes.
750,000.
Yeah, yeah, we contribute half and they contribute, right?
Mayor,
Thank you, Rev.
an
Yes,
announcement?
one other.
I forgot to make an announcement. Tomorrow, our third-party contractor, BVNA, who does our inspections, is going to conduct training for staff. We were changed over to the San Antonio region, so they're bringing in their staff to introduce them to us, their inspectors, and also train us on the TMS system where we enter and log in all our data. And also they're going to provide a training in the evening at 6 o'clock. We provided you a copy of the flyer. It's for the contractors. They're going to address the permits that are required, the process of the inspections and plan reviews, and then open it up for Q&A.
Council's welcome to come to the evening.
And this is for the contractors. So we do, we have a list of licensed contractors that we register, and we used that list, and we emailed and mailed out flyers to all the contractors that are in our system as well. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout tomorrow.
Very excited about that. Good, very good. All right, with that, we're gonna move on. Staff report, public hearing. It is now 6:25. We are in an open hearing for item 6B. Upon a request for a conditional use permit for Cellco Partnership DBA Verizon Wireless Tower owner for installation of a new wireless transmission facility and all associated equipment on the ground for Verizon Wireless to be located north access I-35, Pearsall, Texas. This property is currently zoned A0 agriculture and open space, and this is a public hearing to discuss that. Yolanda, I believe the floor is yours. We are in open session.
So, for Verizon Wireless, you do have a copy of the memo that we gave you, and basically, this is something new that we're doing. condensing the stack that you get regarding any conditional use permits, all the mappings and everything. We condensed it into a memo with the pertinent information. You have before you the summary and staff's recommendation on this memo. And any concerns that we may have had. So I believe we have someone here from, would you like to speak, Mr. Martin? or-
If they have questions, I'd be glad
Okay.
to, just let me know, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Ms. Martin, would you stand up and identify yourself?
Yeah, Louis Martin, I'm the Vice President of Archcom Wireless, I do the consulting project for Verizon Wireless for this new tower. I can speak to it a little bit, or if you have questions right off the bat, you let me know, and I'll be glad to give the presentation, or if time for brevity, I can forego that, but you, council members.
Just a real brief,
Okay,
just explain what you want here,
okay, perfect.
Mr. Martin.
Mayor, city manager, council members, appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. So the address is off, it's right up on 35, it's on they're calling the site Curacao City West, but it's on the northwest side of town. In our application, we kind of showed where it was at. It's really kind of away from everything. Currently today, the city has one cell site that Verizon is providing service for the community. It's on the southeast side of town. This being on the northeast side of town would allow for much greater coverage for the whole entire community. And I have a map, I don't know if it's possible, I'll just show you this. So here's a map, or I can kind of show it, so it's on the page here.
We provided them with that.
Okay, perfect.
You
So
should have
if you,
that in your packets.
there's a map that has green and yellow. On the left, it shows your coverage today. Green is great, so you get your data and voice. Yellow is kind of, it's okay, and red is no service. With this cell tower, if you look on the right side, you can see how the green in the northwest corner of town, it just completely soaks it up, will take all those calls, and eliminates areas where there are no coverage. And so the city was working on one tower, operating off of that. They're now doubling, putting two. So this is my 2 cents worth. Down the road, I foresee maybe them putting something down here on the southwest portion where all three would provide coverage. I think for emergency services, for fire, police, for people using that, if this tower today, say, went down, electrical issues, something like that, then there just wouldn't be any coverage. With this second tower, it's providing redundancy in roughly 40% of the area, which is the center of town. So if that tower did go down, you'd have the coverage up here. And when they're both there, it makes the data, the amount of people that can use the tower at one time, increases it, exponentially.
So council, the topic is, again, open hearing, see if there's any concern from citizens about changing the zoning from agriculture to,
Conditional use permit.
for a conditional use permit to allow that. Not to change the zoning, but to allow it in a agricultural space.
Conditional use.
It's a conditional use. So this will come back to us for an action item on 9E. But if you have any other questions for Mr. Martin, now's the time to ask him. Looks like there's none, sir.
Okay.
We'll address this here in just a moment.
One thing I just want for the record too as well to point out, and then I'll be finished, is this tower, the space of the base of the tower is 75 by 75, so this will provide coverage for Verizon Wireless. With that extra space at the base of the tower, other carriers would be allowed to use this tower as well. So eventually AT&T, Dish, stuff like that, and Verizon wanted me to make sure that we let you know that they're 100% willing to let them go on the tower.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any other person wishing to make a statement regarding this issue? Any other person wishing to make a statement? If not, I'm gonna close the open hearing at 6:31. All right, it is now 6:31, we're in open session. Request for a conditional use permit for Jose Oscar Leal to place a 15 by 5, 76, 2011 Fleetwood manufacturing home on property located at 1953 FM 1581, Pearsall, Texas. Property described as such. We are in open session, public hearing. Yolanda, you have the floor.
Yes, Mayor, council members, you have a conditional use permit application on behalf of Mr. Jose Oscar Leal. The conditional use permit currently requires a conditional use permit for a manufactured home in an agricultural open space. I did point out again in the memo that was provided to you all, the staff's recommendation, as well as pointed out some of the guidelines that, for you to look at when you consider approving or denying a conditional use permit. I also pointed out the current zoning ordinance and also pointed out the proposed comprehensive master plan. While it has not been adopted yet, we look to that for the future and what we would like for some of these current zoned areas to be in the future, so I also put that in there. We do have Mr. and Mrs. Liao here. I do not know if they wish to speak, but would you like to say anything, Mr. Liao? You're good?
Okay, is there anybody else that would like to address this issue regarding Oscar Liao, and the placement of mobile home? Council, do you have any other questions? If not, it is 6:32, and we are closing the public hearing. With that, it is 6:32, we're back in an open public hearing on a request for a conditional use permit for John Walker Martin to place a 32 by 76 2017 manufactured home on property located at 229 North Peach Street and 304 West Rio Grande. Property legal described as such. This is an open public hearing. Yolanda?
Yes, Mayor, Council. Again, you have before you a conditional use permit by Mr. Martin. The conditional use permit is required because they are looking to place a manufactured home in an R1 zoning district. We have provided you with the recommendations and also the proposed comprehensive master plan is proposing that we continue to identify those areas as R1 single and two-family dwelling. I will cover some additional things that we have pointed out in your report during the time when it's for discussion and action. I believe somebody on behalf of Mr. Martin is here that would like to speak.
Mr. Martin?
Yeah, so the problem we were having, I'm sorry? Will Wolf, I'm sorry. Yes, so the problem we're having with the R1 lot is that the mobile home is too big for one lot. We own two lots that are side by side, but according to the rule, you can only put the mobile home on one lot. So the problem we're having is the mobile home's a double wide, it's an upgrade for a trailer that's already there, right? So it's an upgrade, and the back of the trailer sits on the property line in the middle. So what we were trying to do and what we're trying to get with the conditional use permit is, I'm working with a company called Smith Surveyors from Uvalde. And the idea is to replat the lots into one, so it follows the rules of the law or whatever conditions you guys have. And to set it in the middle of both properties and make it to where we fit perfect within the boundaries with the replat. So we'll have to get surveyors and engineers on that, but I know they'll be showing up to meetings if we do go forward with that, if you guys are able to approve a conditional use permit. That'll cost about $3,000 to $4,000, I think, to do the replat. So, I don't know what other options we have besides that, as far as just trying to stick to the rules and sticking to the guidelines. That would probably be our only option to fit that mobile home, is to increase the lots from one to just to one big lot. And that's pretty much where we're at. But as well as the measurements, we've had Mr. Lopez go out there and he did a really good job of everything he's done out there. So he was able to stake it out and get the measurements right to where it would fit just right within the spec. So that's it.
Okay. Very good. All right, is there anyone else that has a comment regarding this? Council, did you have a question? No. Okay. We get anyone else from the public?
I have one.
Yeah.
I want to know, what was the date of the application on that conditional use?
That was 12/28/2020.
before 12/20. I'm sorry. November, it was around October or November on Mr. Martin's. And we sent out, we sent out 18 letters, and we.
Negative, negative responses?
Yes, sir, we got one response, and you have a copy of that. I was gonna cover that in the action item, but there was one negative response. And
Yeah, this will be,
Well, that'd be a great time if you could start public comments and
would you like
approach.
to speak, sir?
No, I'm asking her.
you wanna come up and say your question?
I'm
All right, very good. We're gonna go over this a little later on this evening, so, when we move to action item.
I think this is something that should provide to the council. I mean, this
It's
went
good,
out,
it's coming.
we had a P and Z meeting,
Yeah.
we went out, this, I'm trying to follow the procedure that's in.
It is, sir,
place.
it's in my memo, everything's in here.
Yeah, but we don't know, the public doesn't know, the memo.
It's gonna be discussed.
I plan to discuss it during the action item. This is the public hearing, to allow the public to speak.
So I jumped the gun.
A little
Well, I
bit.
don't know about that, yes, we'll cover hopefully some of your questions.
Okay.
All right, is there any other questions?
There was a P and Z meeting,
Yes, sir, yesterday.
and who's your P and Z administrator?
Mr. Jesus Cuevas. Mrs. Cuevas is the chairman.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other questions, any other from the council or the citizens? That being the case, it is now 6:39, closing the public hearing. Moving it on to item 6K, it is 6:39, we're in an open public hearing on a request for a conditional use permit for Rodolfo G. Ortegon Jr., plays a 30x56, 2021 manufacturing home on property located at 315 North Cherry Street, being lot and block such and such, zoned R1 single, 2-family. This is an open public hearing. Assistant City Manager, you have the floor.
Yes, Mayor, council members, you have before you the memo that summarizes the application and all the maps and details that were attached to your agenda items. We did do the notice of letters to the residents within that 200-foot radius that you'll see in the very back of that report. We sent 14 letters within that, 13, I'm sorry, within that 200-foot radius that we needed to notify. We did get one negative response, and I will cover more details during the action item. I believe Mr. Ortegon is here. Would you like to speak, Mr. Ortegon?
Can you please state your name and your address?
Rodolfo Ortegon Jr., 350 North Cherry Street. Just here to see if you're gonna, hopefully you can help me allow the permit for my mom. As you know, her house burned down and trying to get a manufactured home in that property. If you have any questions for me to, on the paperwork, I'm glad to answer any of those.
All right, very good. Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Ortegon at this time?
You're gonna take it on both lots, or just on the,
On both.
on both?
And again, we're going to be discussing this as an action item here later this evening as we move out of this presentation time.
Thank you.
Very good. Does anybody else have a comment regarding this item? If not, it is now 6:41, and we're closing the public hearing. All right, folks, with that, we're gonna move on to a consent item. We're gonna approve the December 19th, 2023 meeting. Should have a chance to review those, the meeting minutes. So with that, I'm gonna ask for a motion in a second. May I have a motion, please? Motion by Councilwoman Argarza, second by Councilwoman Tiffany Talamontes. Any questions or additions or changes? Hearing none, I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. We got Council Pro Mayor, James Leal, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, with that, we're going on to item 8, presentation. 8A, swearing in of newly hired Pearsall police officers. Chief Flores, please come forward. Thank you, Jimmy.